Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've already watched some of my videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post a video. So this is kind of my inaugural transaction log / bill pay log, because this is the first month that I am actually doing the Happy Planner Budget Expansion Pack. So far I'm really liking it. Actually, it works really well, and I mean, where I am a paycheck to paycheck budgeter, even though it doesn't have a place to break your budget down by week into the 2 weeks, I've found a way around that, so that is perfectly fine with me. But anyway, so I've only paid 4 of my bills, and these are slightly out of order this month because there were a couple of bills like my Netflix and my bank that I forgot to include on this. However, next month it will be in order, I promise. So my first bill is rent. It is due, well, there's not really a due date, but usually they take it out the first couple of weeks of the month. So I just usually budget for the first. And it is $120 or $520, and it is paid. And then, of course, there is my insurance, which is always going to come out on July the 15th or the next business day, whichever scenario happens to be the case. And again, that's been paid. My phone has technically been paid in that the money has been moved onto my credit card for when it does come off, because technically they do bill me on the 17th. However, usually I don't know why, with the auto payments, they take it out several days before the due date, and I do keep a close eye on that just to be sure that everything's okay. And so I'm going to count that as paid because technically it is. My bus pass technically isn't a bill. I technically count it as cash envelope, but for this I am going to count it as a bill. I try and get it as close to the 20th of the month as possible because that's when the bus passes first come out. And I mean, they never run out, but I still like getting it as soon as possible just so I don't have to worry about it. And then next is my provincial student loan, but that's not out yet. That doesn't come out until July 31st, and that comes out the 31st of every month. And that is $107.71. My federal student loan comes out July 31st as well, which means I see a big decrease in my account that day. And it is $513.53. Netflix comes out usually on the 20th or thereabouts, so it's $13.99, and it has been paid. Oops, I forgot to check off my bus pass because I did purchase that. And then my bank fees are due July 31st. And I do budget $22.50 for that, although it usually isn't that much, but just in case. So that's it for bill payments. Next up is my expense tracker. I wrote everything down, and I am only going to do up until July 15th, just because that is what the bi-weekly budgeting video covers. And then next time I do this, which should be, again, just before the bi-weekly check-in, then I'll do the rest of July. So my first purchase, and I'm not counting any of my purchases while on vacation. So I'm starting with the 6th because that's the first time I was back in Canada and I was back like home. And that was for groceries, which was $7.71. And that was paid with my credit card. That was because I hadn't had time to get to the bank, but I did need to get out some groceries, and I kind of put it as need and a want because technically I did get some things that I didn't necessarily need, but I wanted, like chips. So yeah. July 8th was $14.44, and again, that was groceries. Although this time it was solely needs, so that was good. July 8th was, I made a payment of $165 to my landlords. That is because they purchased they paid for hotels and gas on our road trip, and then also they did pay for some items from Costco because I don't have a membership. So they did it. So they just added that to what I owed them for the trip. And so that was a debit, and it was a want because technically we didn't have to extend the trip, but we did, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I don't regret it. So July 13th. And you'll notice most of these are on the weekends, and that's just because it's easier for me to run errands on the weekends when I have more time and therefore can deal with the buses to get to the grocery store. So yeah, if you notice that pattern, that's why. So that is $2.97 for groceries, which was cash. Want, because it was snacks. I think it wasn't anything that I necessarily needed. No, it wasn't snacks. It was just something I'd spotted that I really wanted. But it also wasn't necessary kind of thing. So that same day I did go to another store, did $5.90, and actually this was Dollarama. So I was getting supplies for a sleepover I'm going to be having. And again, that was a want because technically I didn't need it. At least, yeah, I didn't need that stuff, but it was something that I wanted to get so I could have fun at the sleepover with the people, because we were planning to do crafts and I wanted to contribute. So that day I also picked up my birth control, and that has risen slightly in price. But I mean, that's still really good. It's paid for majority by insurance, which I am happy about. So that was cash, and it was a need, and the other two groceries / craft supplies were cash as well, if I forgot to tell you that. Again, same day. Oh my goodness, so many purchases on the 13th. I spent $22.40 on birthday gifts. That was cash, and I'm gonna put it as a need because I would feel bad if I didn't get it for the person. Basically, unless I tell you otherwise, these are all July 13th. So $7.50 for groceries, cash, and again, not necessarily anything I needed. July, I feel like the 13th tended to be spending for what I wanted, not necessarily what I needed. I spent $15.60 and that was on snacks. So that is cash, and that was a want. And that was snacks for the sleepover as well. And then July 15th, finally a day that isn't a weekend. I did spend $5.75 on McDonald's because I had French class and I just didn't want to have to take and plan for 2 meals that day. And honestly, I don't get fast food very often, so this, at least during the summer, so it was nice to do that. So yeah, so that's what I spent in the past 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks because I'm really behind on this video, but yeah, I think it's going to keep me accountable because obviously there's a lot more wants here than there is actual needs. So definitely thinking in August I'm going to have to try and set a goal or something about that to see if I can cut down on the wants so that I'm not paying for things that I don't necessarily need. But yeah, so that's all. If you haven't already, again, do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post. If you like this video, please do consider hitting that like button and also commenting on my video down below. I really enjoy interacting with everyone. And until next time, bye!